Hello friends, this is Sushil from SBNRI India, your Indian friend. We have been receiving a lot of queries on receiving gifts and the tax implications on the same. To discuss further, we have CA Mohit Gopwani. I think most of you are already familiar with him. Still, he is a CA and he is working with 1000 plus NRIs, helping them to in their taxation related queries for India. We will try to answer all your questions regarding the topic in 7 questions. Okay, and it's really a pleasure, Mohit, to have you here with us.
Thank you, Sushil.
So, without wasting any time, Mohit, I would like to proceed with our first question. That who are the one who can receive gifts, and what are the tax implications on the same?
Right. So all NRIs can receive gifts from any person, be it their relative or non-relative. Earlier, there used to be a gift tax act in India, but that has now been abolished. So whatever tax implications arise on gifts arise under the Indian Income Tax Act. Now, whenever there is a gift, there are two parties involved. One is the person who is giving the gift, and the other is the person who is receiving the gift. So, under the Indian Income Tax Act, there are no tax implications in the hands of the person who is giving the gift. So, the person who is giving the gift has to bear no tax consequences. Only the person who is receiving the gift may or may not have to pay tax on such receipt depending on the Income Tax Act. So the Income Tax Act has given certain exemptions and it has defined certain situations wherein all gifts received will be exempt. So depending on that situation, the recipient of the gift might or might not have to pay tax on the gift.
Okay. So, if I am a sender, I am the one who is sending some gift. Okay. So, in that case, there won't be any tax liability on me, at least.
Yes,
That we are clear.
yes.
Fine. Jumping on to the second question, Mohit. What exactly are the things which we are referring as a gift? What exactly we call as a gift?
Right. So, in the hands of NRIs, anything can be gifted. So, it could be a sum of money, be it cash or be it through a banking channel. It could be any sum of money or it could be property. Now, property could be immovable property or movable property. All assets. So, basically, all assets are covered and anything can be gifted to NRIs. However, there is one exception.
Okay.
Under the Income Tax Act, there is no prohibition. However, the FEMA law prohibits Indian residents from gifting agricultural land to non-resident. So, an NRI can receive any gift. However, he cannot receive an agricultural land from an Indian resident.
That's interesting. So, I can send anything to anyone in foreign who is an NRI. Okay. But there is just one exception, that is agricultural land.
Yes.
So, Mohit, is there any, if by any means, is there a way where any parent can grant their agricultural land to their son or their daughter?
So, there is no way that they can actually gift it. The NRI son or daughter may inherit it once their parents die. If in that case, they may inherit that agricultural land.
Okay.
Because that is a natural process, so they are bound to inherit it. However, the parents or any other person cannot gift it while they are alive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. So, coming on to my third question, Mohit. What are the cases in which gifts has been received but there are tax exemptions available?
Right. So the Indian Income Tax Act has provided certain situations and certain exemptions wherein there will be no tax implications even in the hands of the recipient. Okay. So Section 56 of the Indian Income Tax Act covers these situations wherein it defines there are 10 situations, 10 different cases where there will be no tax implication in the hands of the recipient. We'll cover some of these that are actually relevant to NRIs. So, example, one case is where an NRI is getting married. So, on the special occasion of marriage, whatever gift an NRI receives will be exempt in his hands. Suppose there is a case of inheritance. Again, whatever an NRI receives, it will be exempt in his hands. there might be a possibility that in contemplation of death, a parent might want to gift something to his or her NRI son or daughter. That is also a case which has been totally exempt. Apart from these cases, there are two cases which are most relevant. One is receipt of gift from a relative. So whenever an NRI receives a gift from a relative, that will be totally exempt in his hands. If it is from a non-relative and it is not covered by other exemptions, then if the gift amount is up to rupees 50,000 in a particular year, then it will be exempt in his hands. However, if the gift amount is greater than 50,000, then the entire amount becomes taxable in his hands.
Okay, understood. So my fourth question to you, Mohit, is regarding this 50,000. So who are exactly liable? Where exactly the liabilities is there when it comes to 50,000? So does it come in case of parents also, or it is limited to friends and some relatives of descendants?
Right. So if the gift is received from a relative, then there is actually no limit under the Income Tax Act. If it is from a relative, then any amount received will be exempt. However, when it is not from a relative and it is not on any special occasion or the specific situations which have been defined, in those cases, only in those cases, we'll actually have to look at the total gift received in any particular year, and that cumulative amount has to be checked. So if the total cumulative amount is less than 50,000, then there will be no tax implication. Even if it comes up to rupees 50,000, there will be no tax implication. However, as soon as it exceeds 50,000, then it becomes taxable. So suppose there is a case where you, being an NRI, you receive a gift of rupees 55,000. Now it could be from one friend or it could be from multiple friends. The cumulative amount coming out to rupees 55,000. In that case, this entire 55,000 will become taxable. So 50,000 is not a threshold limit. It is just a limit up to which the entire amount will be exempt. Beyond that, the entire amount will become taxable. Now, there can also be a case where a sum of money is not gifted, but an asset is gifted. So in case of assets, be it a movable property or movable property, we look at the value, be it the fair market value or we look at the stamp duty value.
Okay.
If these exceed more than 50,000 in a particular year and it is received from a non-relative, then it becomes taxable and the entire amount becomes taxable. Again, there could be a possibility that some asset, be it a movable property or an immovable property, is gifted to you by a non-relative. If it is from a relative, then it is totally exempt. However, if it is from a non-relative and he has charged you some part of it, so suppose the fair market value is 1 lakh rupees and he has charged you only rupees 40,000 because he's a friend or he knows you for some reason, then the gift component becomes rupees 60,000. Since this amount is greater than 50,000, this amount will become taxable in your hands. However, if he would have charged, suppose your friend would have charged rupees 60,000 and the fair market value is rupees 1 lakh, then the gift component is only rupees 40,000. Then that would have become exempt in your hands.
Got it. So what I understand is, other than my parents and blood relatives, if a friend is sending any gift to me and which has a value greater than 50,000, then the whole amount will be taxable. Either if it is 50,000 1 rupee also, then it will be taxable.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
So, Mohit, we understand that you mentioned about the relatives, and this is a very broad area on relative.
Right.
There is a lot of myth and confusion about who we consider as a relative while sending or receiving gifts.
Right.
This is a doubt we receive from more than 500 people. Can you please elaborate on this?
Right. So it is a complicated matter. The Income Tax Act, again under Section 56, the Income Tax Act has given a list of relatives which are considered relatives for that particular section. So we are only talking about this particular section which talks about taxation of gifts, and under that section a list of relatives has been given. If the gift has been received from these relatives, then it is exempt. If it is received from some other person who might still be a relative, but if that person is not covered in this list, then that amount will be taxable. So the list covers 6 sections. So first is the spouse of the individual. So suppose you and your spouse are giving any gift to each other, then that will be exempt. So any gifting between husband and wife is totally exempt. The second part covers brother and sister of the individual. So if your brother and sister give any gift to you, then that will again be exempt in your hands. The third part is brother and sister of your spouse. So if the brother of your wife or the sister of your wife gives you a gift, again it will be exempt in your hands. The fourth part covers brother and sister of your parents. So again, if your father's brother or if your mother's brother or sister gives you a gift, then it will be exempt in your hands.
Okay.
The next part covers all your lineal ascendants and descendants. However, only 3 generations are covered. So suppose in case of lineal ascendants, of course, your father and mother, your grandparents and your great grandparents. In case of lineal descendants, again 3 generations will be covered. That is your parents, your children, your grandchildren and your great grandchildren. So if any of these persons gives you any gifts, then that will be exempt in your hands.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically it's the family hierarchy.
Yes.
Okay.
Also, all these persons related to your spouse as well. Again,
They also
yeah,
can.
they will also be covered in the definition of relative.
Got it.
And the spouses of all these peoples are also covered. Yeah.
Jumping on to my 6th question, Mohit. What are the tax rates which any individual needs to pay on the gifts that they are receiving?
So the gift is generally taxable at the slab rate of the individual. Now it will now depend on if the individual has any other income in that particular year. If not, and if only the gift is received, then the amount of gift, if it is taxable, if it does not fall under these exemptions, it will become taxable. And depending on the amount, we will have to see what is the slab rate that becomes applicable to the individual, and on that basis he will have to pay tax on that income.
So the receivers, they have to pay this tax with respect to the country where they are staying currently.
No, so the gift is assumed to arise in India. So suppose the NRI is living outside and the person who has given the gift is in India. However, since the source of funds or the source of asset was in India, then it is deemed to arise in India. So the NRI, he may be located in some other country, but if the gift has been given from India, then the NRI will have to pay tax on such gift in India.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it. My last question to you, Mohit, is related to the documentation. So you said that they have to pay taxes, and on the sender side, means whoever is sending the gift, they are not liable to pay any taxes. But still, is there any requirement for documentation on both sides?
Yes. So it is always better. It is always better in case of gifts that there should be a documentation. So gifts could be in 3 forms, as we discussed. It could be a sum of money, or it could be property, be it movable or immovable property.
Right.
So in case of immovable properties, there has to be a proper gift deed, and this needs to be registered for the property to be transferred from the sender to the receiver. So there is a proper format of the gift deed that we can share with all our clients.
Okay. So you already have the formats ready with you?
Yes, we've already helped a lot of NRIs with that. So in case of immovable properties, it is absolutely essential that the proper gift deed is followed, it is made up, and it is registered. Apart from that, if it is a sum of money or if it is a movable property, then it is always better to make a gift deed this could be made on a plain paper where the sender and the receiver both sign it and state that when, at what time, and from whom the gift has gone to whom, and it could be made up on a plain sheet of paper and both the sender and the receiver can sign it. This is always helpful because if there is any information that needs to be submitted to the income tax department in the future, then this is really helpful. This will be really helpful.
Now, there is a relation that is coming. I heard about some cases where litigation also happens when the taxation is not paid just because of the confusion with the relatives and documentations.
Right. So there have been many cases. So in one of the cases of one of my NRI clients, he had received a gift from his nephew, and he read that section himself, and he assumed that he was a relative as per the section, and he did not pay any tax on that income. He assumed that he was a relative as per the section. However, it has to be noted that the list covers only persons from whom you can receive a gift. So while my client could have gifted his nephew any amount or any asset and that would have remained exempt in the hands of the nephew, he could not have received any amount or any asset from his nephew, because in that case it becomes taxable in his hands. So those are finer points that NRIs need to consider, they need to take care of that, and all those points are considered, then there will be no litigation.
So, what do you suggest, Mohit, for the NRIs? In such cases, what exactly they should do?
So the list of relative is a little complicated at times, and it is always better to reach out to your tax expert and only then go through with the transaction.
I understand. So that's the best way to safeguard yourself. That's what you are suggesting to our audience.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So Mohit, I believe you answered all our questions and all doubts that was raised from our people, from the NRIs. Thank you guys, thank you everyone for sharing all your doubts with us. I hope that this video will be helpful for you. For any doubts and queries related to taxation or related to receiving gifts and deeds, you can easily reach out to us on the below number. You can simply WhatsApp us and our people will reach out to you, or you can leave a comment below. And if you really like our video, I'm sure that it will be helping you. So please do like, subscribe and share with your friends also. Just like we are trying to help you, you can do the same for your people, the NRIs who do not have any idea about taxations or who are really struggling with taxations. Thanks a lot. I hope you guys stay well, stay healthy.